Alrighty, hey guys, Stan the Man here. Today we're gonna be doing something totally different here. I've really been wanting to do this a long time. It is our WrestleMania tier list, which is gonna be WrestleMania 20 through WrestleMania 38. The reason I chose these WrestleManias is just because I don't want to do all 38 WrestleManias. I think that would be way too long of a video. As you can see here, I have it 20 to 38 in the exact order. So we're just going to be judging it off that exact order. So, yeah, without any further ado, let's get right into this. So, the first WrestleMania we're going to kick off with is WrestleMania 20, and it is Eddie Guerrero defending his WWE Championship against Kurt Angle, which that was just a great match there. And then we have Triple H defending the World Championship against Shawn Michaels and Chris Benoit. And then John Cena taking on the Big Show for the United States Championship. You know, the sad thing about this WrestleMania is both of Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit aren't here anymore. So it's kind of a weird WrestleMania to look back at since they're no longer with us. But, I mean, the match quality of the show was definitely good, but then there was Goldberg defending or just wrestling Brock Lesnar. So, I mean, it was okay. It wasn't the greatest show, so we'll start it with B. Alright, so next we have WrestleMania 21, which has Kurt Angle against Shawn Michaels, which is just a crazy match right there. That's definitely a dream match. And then John Cena takes on JBL and wins his first WWE Championship. And then in the main event, Triple H defends the World Heavyweight Championship against Batista. So John Cena and Batista both won the big title that night, and they became basically kind of like the face of the company that time. And then Kurt Angle against Shawn Michaels, like I said, that was crazy. And I believe this is where the first Money in the Bank ladder match happened, where Edge ended up winning. So this honestly needs to go right to S tier, I think. Alright, so next we have WrestleMania 22. We have Mick Foley taking on Edge in the hardcore match. That iconic spot where Mick Foley got speared by Edge through a flaming table. And then Kurt Angle was defending his world championship against Rey Mysterio and Randy Orton. I mean, it was okay, but, I mean, a triple threat match at that time also wasn't as good. I thought the storytelling was alright, but it definitely wasn't the greatest. And then John Cena was defending the WWE Championship against Triple H. Which, that was a very good match. Same with the Mick Foley and Edge match, but you know, Kurt Angle defending the World Championship against those guys, the storytelling was kind of a little just eh. So, we're going to be putting it at B tier. Alright, so next we have WrestleMania 23, where Batista was defending the World Heavyweight Championship against The Undertaker. So, the streak against Batista, or streak against title. Batista really beat the living hell out of The Undertaker very fast, too. I remember it was one of those different streak matches that you've never seen before. And then in the main event, John Cena was defending the WWE Championship against Shawn Michaels, which, again, that's a dream match there. And they put on 100%. It was Showstopper against John Cena, up and coming. It was really fantastic. But then you see here, too, it was Trump versus Mr. McMahon in a hair match. So Trump had Bobby Lashley wrestling for him, and McMahon had Umaga wrestling for him. Of course, Bobby Lashley defeated Umaga, and Mr. McMahon ended up getting his head shape being lost, which was one of the most viewed WrestleManias just because of that match. And overall match quality and title picture was great, so definitely going to be putting that at A tier. Alright, so next we have WrestleMania 24, where Ric Flair takes on Shawn Michaels, and if Ric Flair loses, he needs to retire, which he did. Ended up being a fantastic match. I mean, what better than to retire by Shawn Michaels beating you? And then Edge defended his world championship against The Undertaker in the main event, which was really good. They told that story for about an entire year, and it was just good match. Taker won the title, kind of conquered Edge. And then there was also Randy Orton defending his world heavyweight excuse me, Randy Orton defending the WWE Championship against Triple H and John Cena, all three top guys of the company. It was a fantastic match, and Randy Orton actually ended up retaining. And Floyd Mayweather also was there taking on the Big Show, so WWE got their celebrity in, got more eyes on it. So honestly, I'm gonna put this at A as well. Okay, so next we have WrestleMania 25, where Edge defended the World Championship against John Cena in the Big Show. I mean, it was alright. It wasn't the greatest match. This is where John Cena picked up Edge and Big Show to go for an AA at the same time. But Cena ended up winning, which wasn't very surprising. And then it was Randy Orton taking on the WWE Champion Triple H. No, the problem is there was a lot of good storytelling here, but the match wasn't that great because of the match that happened before it, which was Undertaker taking on Shawn Michaels, which was the match of the year of that year, and I still think it's personally one of the best matches of the entire year. But unfortunately, this is going to end up at C tier because, I mean, Edge defending the title against Cena and Big Show, and the Randy Orton Triple H match was already ruined because of the match before it. So, therefore, I have to go C, which is a shame because that Undertaker-Michaels match was the best of the night, but just the other matches weren't that great. Next, we make it to WrestleMania 26, where Batista is defending the WWE Championship about John Cena. I don't know, I really didn't like this, because it was kind of like a flip and flop title thing. Batista won the championship at the Elimination Chamber, and then the next month at WrestleMania he lost it, so that was kind of annoying, made the title not feel that special. And then there was Edge going against Chris Jericho. Jericho was the world champion at the time. Edge came back, won the 2010 Royal Rumble, and he didn't even beat Chris Jericho in the main event, so that was just a shame. It didn't make any sense. But then once again, Undertaker and Shawn Michaels streak versus career match stole the night. It was Shawn Michaels' last match, and overall it was incredible. But again, this is going to make it to C category just because the other two title matches were pretty terrible, I think. And then next, we have my least favorite WrestleMania of all time, WrestleMania 27, where The Miz defends his WWE Championship against John Cena in the main event. And The Miz retained it. So that just tells you right there. He did end up getting help from The Rock or whatever, but I mean, WrestleMania, The Miz taking on John Cena. And then Edge defended his world championship against Alberto Del Rio. Like, there just wasn't anything very special about it. It's like, just, You know, the only good match on there was Triple H against The Undertaker in an Extreme Rules match. But that was just a setup for them to fight each other next year at WrestleMania 28. So I'm just putting it at D tier. It was just absolutely terrible, if you ask me. Next year, at WrestleMania 28, we have The Rock versus John Cena, once in a lifetime. This match was insane. Crazy balls to the wall the entire match. And The Rock actually beat John Cena, which was like one of the biggest upsets up to that time. So that was incredible there. And then CM Punk defended the WWE Championship against Chris Jericho. It was really wonderful because they did like months and months of storytelling of Jericho talking garbage about Punk's family and stuff like that. And then finally there is Triple H versus Undertaker in a Hell in a Cell match, end of an era. Personally, my favorite match of all time. Undertaker made Shawn Michaels retire, so Triple H was defending his best friend. Shawn was the ref. Overall, it was just an incredible event. So I honestly got to go S tier on this. I think it's definitely one of the best WrestleManias of all time. Okay, so next we have WrestleMania 29. This is where Triple H takes on Brock Lesnar. It was Brock Lesnar's first WrestleMania back. A very good Extreme Rules match. Triple H won. And then there was The Undertaker versus CM Punk. It was kind of different. Paul Bearer had died, so, Punk was very personal with it and stuff like that. But for a streak match, it was okay. Taker kind of got his butt whipped a lot, but, he ended up being victorious in the end. And then you have The Rock defending the WWE Championship against John Cena. This was kind of because it was a good match and all, but, it was advertised as once in a lifetime, and then they made it as Cena had to get his redemption and win the title from him. So it was kind of The WrestleMania was, overall, it was decent, so I think I'm just going to put it in a C category, because we've already seen some of the matches the previous year, so, it wasn't really that great. Alright, next we have John Cena at WrestleMania 30 taking on Bray Wyatt. This is a big change in the year for John Cena from WrestleMania 29 to 2030, or WrestleMania 30. It was okay, Cena hadn't really worked with someone like that. He was working with a new guy. So some of it was a little bizarre. Then we had Daniel Bryan taking on Batista and Randy Orton in the main event for the undisputed title. It was a good match. Daniel got wheeled out and he came back and won the titles. It was a pretty good match, I'd say. Or it was okay because Daniel got taken out. I don't know. It didn't really make much sense to me because Daniel Bryan had to qualify in the beginning of the night, and then he had to wrestle in the main event. It just seemed like it was only focused on kind of one person, which was kind of to me. And then there was also Undertaker taking on Brock Lesnar, and that is where The Undertaker's WrestleMania 30-0 streak had ended. I don't know, for WrestleMania 30, I kind of thought this one was So honestly, I gotta put this at C tier as well. Okay, so next we have WrestleMania 31, where Sting has his first match at WrestleMania, taking on Triple H in a no-holds-barred match. That was absolutely fantastic. It was really good. For Sting being as old as he was, too, NWO came out, DX came out, so overall it was very good, a lot of drama to it. Then John Cena was taking on Rusev for the United States Championship. Again, Cena was kind of in that awkward stage where he's working with newer talent to make them look better, but he kind of ended up burying Rusev because he beat him. But then finally in the main event, Brock Lesnar was taking on Roman Reigns. Reigns was going after Lesnar's title. Seth Rollins came down, did the infamous WrestleMania cash-in, and he beat Lesnar and Reigns. And then there was also a pretty decent ladder match in the beginning of the night. So, honestly, this wasn't the greatest, but it's good enough to go in B. Daniel Bryan won the ladder match in the earlier of the night, so that was exciting. Alright, so next we have WrestleMania 32, where Undertaker took on Shane McMahon in a Hell in a Cell. On paper, it was exciting as crap. Shane McMahon jumped off the Hell in a Cell, almost killed himself, basically. That was the highlight of the match. But honestly, if you watch the match, it was very slow-paced just because, They're both over 50 years old, and Shane McMahon hadn't been in the ring for over 8 years, so there's a lot of ring rust. And then finally, Triple H defended the WWE Championship against Roman Reigns. Kind of a really weird time that, like, a 50-year-old Triple H was defending the title in the main event of WrestleMania. I mean, it wasn't a terrible match, but there was just so much hate for Roman Reigns at the time. It was just very hard to enjoy. So honestly, there wasn't super great amount of matches on there that were oh my god matches. So it's going to C. Okay, so next we have WrestleMania 33. This is where Goldberg defends the Universal Championship against Brock Lesnar. This was a big change in the year for WWE. A lot of new wrestlers and stuff like that. A lot of returns. Goldberg defending against Lesnar. I mean, the suspense was there. It was a decent match, 5-minute match. And then Triple H, he turned on Seth Rollins, and him and Rollins had the unsanctioned match. That was definitely insane. Very good. And then in the final match, The Undertaker took on Roman Reigns, where Roman Reigns beat him. It was Undertaker's second WrestleMania victory, and Undertaker teased the retirement, which never ended up happening. And also, that is where Matt and Jeff Hardy returned in the tag team ladder match. Overall, there was just this WrestleMania was very exciting. A lot of good matches and stuff like that. So honestly, I'm putting it up here in A. Yeah, I really think it was that great. All right. So now we move on to WrestleMania 34, where Brock Lesnar is defending the Universal Championship against Roman Reigns. Now, this was the second time they went against each other. Roman Reigns was kind of getting a comeback since he had lost to Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 31. They were never really able to finish. A very good match, but Lesnar ended up retaining. And then this was very exciting too. AJ Styles came into WrestleMania as the WWE Champion, taking on Shinsuke Nakamura. They both wrestled in Japan a lot. They had a lot of history together. So that was a very awesome match. And then this was also where Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey went against Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. That match was kind of but it was exciting to get Ronda Rousey here. Overall, I'd say the entire night was pretty exciting for it. And this is also where John Cena went against The Undertaker. It was a squash match. Undertaker beat the hell out of Cena, but still. So I'm going to put this at B. Alright, WrestleMania 35, the one I went to. So we had Batista taking on Triple H, and if Batista lost, he'd have to leave WWE, which of course we knew that was going to happen. That was a very good match, very physical, but it was shitty that we knew what the outcome was going to be of it before the match even started. Then the first match was Brock Lesnar defending the Universal Championship against Seth Rollins. So that was very good. But, Rollins got his ass kicked the whole time, did 3 curb stomps, and won. And then there was the main event, Ronda Rousey defending the unified women's titles against Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. That was the first women's WrestleMania main event. I think it was very good. Becky Lynch ended up winning. She was wicked over. This is also the first WrestleMania that there was only the one championship or whatever. So, yeah, that ended up being an okay match. But for a title match, I honestly didn't think it was that great. We knew Batista was going to lose. So, I think I'm just going to put this in C category. Okay, next, we have WrestleMania 36. This is the first WrestleMania during the pandemic, so kind of have to give or take here a little bit. So you have Edge versus Randy Orton. They had a last man standing match. It was great. It was a little lengthy, a little too long, but overall it was like a 10-star match. It was awesome. And then Drew McIntyre was taking on Brock Lesnar. for the WWE Championship. It was a little bit of a finisher fest, but, Drew was so over when he won the Royal Rumble and stuff like that, and people were just excited. And then there was The Undertaker taking on AJ Styles in a Boneyard match. It was kind of one of those cinematic matches, but, again, it was the pandemic, so you kind of have to give a little leeway there. Overall, I thought it was a pretty good show for what they were working with. Still had very big top names and stuff like that. So, honestly, it was a very memorable one. So, I think I'm going to put it at... I'm going to go B tier because I definitely don't think it was worth A tier. But, yeah. Okay, so next we have WrestleMania 37, which personally I thought this WrestleMania was okay. Braun Strowman took on Shane McMahon in in a steel cage. So that was a little weird. Wasn't that great. We knew Braun was going to win. And then Randy Orton took on The Fiend. Again, The Fiend was just so much bad booking that it kind of didn't make much sense. So that was kind of eh. The main event, though, was Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan versus Edge. Roman Reigns had both titles, I believe. Or no, he just had the WWE or Universal Championship. Anyways, it was a good hardcore match. It was Daniel Bryan's last match. The match was pretty decent, but, there wasn't really that many great of matches on there because, like Braun Strowman against Shane McMahon, it was kind of a weird year. So, I'm honestly going to put that at WrestleMania, or at C tier. Alright, and finally, we have WrestleMania 38, which was just this most recent WrestleMania, where Roman Reigns came in as the Universal Champion. Brock Lesnar came in as the WWE Champion, and it was a winner-take-all match, which Roman Reigns ended up winning. It was the third time they had the match. It was kind of like a typical Brock Lesnar-Roman Reigns match. A lot of finishers, the Usos coming down to help Roman Reigns and stuff like that. So, that match was pretty good. And then there was Edge versus AJ Styles. This was the Edge in the Judgment Day, one of his first new gimmicks as being a heel since his return. That was really good, and they gave Edge the win as a heel, and that was cool. Then it was also Sami Zayn versus Johnny Knoxville. I know it sounds absolutely obnoxious, but it was very entertaining, something no one's ever seen before, and the crowd was eating it up. It was great. And then there was also Stone Cold taking on Kevin Owens. They had a brawl throughout the crowd for about 10 minutes. Vince McMahon had a quick match. That was awesome. We haven't seen that in years. And then Cody Rhodes made his debut from AEW to WrestleMania. So I think you guys know where this needs to go. This definitely needs to go in S. I was very impressed with this year's WrestleMania. I was not expecting it to be so great. A lot of the WrestleManias aren't as great as they used to be, but that one definitely was. So, yeah, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Comment down below if you disagree. Some other WrestleManias where you think they should be and stuff like that. But, yeah, that's going to be it for this video. As always, if you guys liked this video, please hit that like button and just consider subscribing. So, yeah, I will see you guys.